My name is Aleksandra Karasińska and I'm editor-in-chief of Forbes Women Polska. And we will continue on with cybersecurity, and I will repeat our guests. So Professor Marko Gercke, an expert in the field of cybersecurity, director and founder of Cybercrime Research Institute. Again, Professor, pleasure to have you in Warsaw. And another expert, Piotr Markowicz, ICT B2B Product and Offer Development Director at Orange Polska. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, Professor Gercke, you mentioned about digital revolution, how it changed our world, the way we do business. And those companies that has transferred to digital are growing and winning. But our economy is all about data. As slogan says, data is new oil. Is it true from your perspective that these big companies, those companies, organizations, also governments, which owns data and has access to big data and also can protect the data, has the real power now?
Yeah, I strongly believe that this is not all about data. You can't eat data. So ultimately, I don't believe that we're moving towards an economy where data is the only available good. I think we're far away from this. However, as we heard in previous presentation, data enriches a lot of things. Intelligence is really important. So for each and every company that is out there, whether you're in the food business or hospitality or anything else, having access to data is giving you a better view of where you're standing and you're not navigating in the dark. So I strongly believe that companies need access to data. You will hardly be able to survive in an environment where some have access to data and the other don't. And those ones who are using the data in an appropriate way, who find a way to really utilize this, to make sense of it, not just having it somewhere, but using it in a positive way, they're going to benefit. And to pick up on your last point, which I think is a very important distinction, if you're unable to protect the data, if you're unable to prove also to your customers that you're using it for legitimate purposes and don't abuse their trust, I think that is an important component. So protecting the integrity of data is seen as important because it can really damage your reputation if you don't.
Okay, thank you. Piotr Markowicz, we've seen the presentation and your great speech, but what kind of security challenges this new reality brings, especially in context of 5G and Internet of Things that we are, approaching very, very fast?
From my side, maybe I'll first comment the word of, the digital data is the new oil. It's in certain extent true. I would give even example from the stock market. If someone is observing Dow Jones 30, we saw last year that the fully digital company, Salesforce.com, has replaced an ExxonMobil, so traditional oil company, which was there from 1928, so almost 100 years, all the time in the row. Right now, it was replaced by the digital company. So even in that extent, we see that it's happening. But coming to the points about 5G and IoT, what we will face is the really massive devices. So we are ready with 5G from the operator point of view, network and IoT, to serve the mass devices per square kilometer. We are talking about numbers like millions of devices per square kilometer. The devices which are sending information one direction or bidirections, which part of them are mobile, like autonomous cars, and part of them even as autonomous cars as well, or some drones, they have intelligence built in. And the point is how you manage it from the technological point of view. So this is the challenge one in front of us, how to address the situation. There will be things we are using right now, and there will be new things because this data transmitted grows exponentially. So we need to use some extra things, as we heard of AI, to be able to understand it. The second point on that area is that right now with the cybersecurity, from the business point of view, we are thinking, okay, I have my business plan, I want to implement it, I will get money out of it, and of course, in this digital world, the kind of cybersecurity is critical for my business, so I invest part of that money as well in cybersecurity. In the near future, as the world is getting totally digital, cybersecurity is not longer just a critical function for the business, it's core. It's core and critical. So you are not able to do your business plan in the future if you are thinking that cybersecurity is only critical. It's part of your business. It will be your USP on the market. For instance, in the drone, if you are going to the drone company, you have a good business plan, you transport something from point A to B, and this is actually all profitable, comparing the traditional transportation. If you will not ensure that the drones will not be takeover, you will not have the golden button to tell the takeover or hack drones to go to the base and actually unload instead of making the damage to the people, you will not be able to do this business. That's as simple as that. And the third point is as well, as we know in this world, it's an interplay of all the enterprises, entities, and so on. So actually, you can't ensure security once you are in a connected world acting alone. So the critical point is that we are able to organize government institution providers, service operators like mobile operators or cloud operators, and business acting together to ensure ecosystem of cybersecurity. There will be no single person and no single organization which can ensure cybersecurity of our business end-to-end in this ecosystem. So those are the three things I would like to share with you, and they, I think, very important in this new world. Thank you.
Would you like to comment on that? 5G, what kind of threats? Because we are looking at this new technology as huge opportunity.
No, absolutely. I see 5G as one of the mega trends which are really important to look out for. And I think those people who believe that 5G just means that you can download your cat videos on YouTube faster just didn't get the point. That's not the point of this revolution. It will enable us to connect devices to the internet that we were unable to connect before, for example, because they needed an immediate response. We heard in a previous presentation that surgery is one of the areas where we're going to see a lot of technical developments, and I agree. I did study medicine for a while. My wife is a doctor. There are so many amazing things happening in this field, but you want a reliable connection. And in the previous networks, we didn't have this. Now we, for the first time, have this reliable, ultra-fast connection where we get an immediate response. So I think, yes, absolutely. It offers great opportunities. I think it's one of the technical developments where a lot of thoughts were invested in securing it by design right from the beginning. And I believe that this is something which makes it different from previous technical megatrends. But still, there risk, absolutely, no question.
We are talking about threats, about risk. I was thinking about a question for you. Has this last year, the COVID crisis, changed the situation in the context of security?
I think it changed a lot because the companies who so far were not digital, they had a very low digital level. They all become digital, and not because they were forced to by the situation. They were forced by the customers who went more digital. But coming to that point, if we are looking into kind of cybersecurity approach for that, because there are a lot of new threats from the cybersecurity. To have it in the company, you need to kind of be ready for that. So, and be ready for new threats. There's a lot of questions. What is the golden rule to be ready for new threats? And there is no golden answer for that. My advice would be to be pragmatic, so actually to implement the cybersecurity policies on the end devices as we are doing. We will have more of those devices, cybersecurity policies on the network, infrastructure and applications. You need to take care for the people and invest in the people awareness that hackers, apart from, we are protecting from the technology side, maybe it's easier to hack you from the personal side and your stuff. The other point as well, you need to take into consideration, of course, that you have the cybersecurity strategy, cybersecurity policies, and all these things which is gluing technology, people, and your kind of internal process and behavior. And last but not least, you need to have a really professional cybersecurity partner if you are enterprise, because typically it will not be economically justified for you to create the professional services that are able to match all these things. I can give you an example from the Orange. So in Orange, we have 200 cybersecurity experts who are working 24/7. We are certified according to international standards. We are in interactions with all the partners and providers of the cybersecurity tools and equipment about the cybersecurity threats. So we have the knowledge on that. And as well, through our network goes almost 50% of the internet traffic in this country. On top of that, we have the tools, we have machine learning algorithms already to provide you the knowledge about the threats and to protect you from the threats. Being in an enterprise, you cannot recreate it. You cannot recreate it. It will be not kind of economically justified. So it's important to have such a partner and to actually implement end-to-end cybersecurity policy. And in 8 years, of course, you need to have AI instead of us, which will be 1 billion times more intelligent and will cope with future threats in that area.
Thank you. Last very quick question, a short advice. You know, there are many small enterprises, many small businesses in Poland. Majority of Polish economy is built on that. Would you give us basic advice for them, how to measure risk versus costs?
Yeah, I believe it's a difficult situation. I mean, this is the backbone of most of the economies, the small businesses. And my recommendation for you would be listen to your expert in the house. I know it's always, I mean, you always trust experts from outside, advisors. You don't need any of this. From my perspective, the first step is ask the people in the organization that are responsible for the topic. There will be people dealing with risk. There will be people dealing with IT. So I'm talking about companies starting 100+ people. And then listen to them and then let them sit together and think about what are the most likely scenarios and develop plans and develop strategies where they might need to do some strategic investments. But I would recommend not to put the hurdle too much. I mean, you can do a lot of things in-house, and if you then feel there is need for more, get outside help.
Thank you. Cybersecurity is one of the most pressing topics for the companies right now, for the economy, but we have to stop now. So thank you again for this insightful conversation, and please stay with us in Business Insider Trends. Thank you very much.
Thank you.